Man United 4, Bournemouth 4. Gut-wrenching. Absolutely gut-wrenching on every level tonight. I'm honest with you, I don't know how to feel right now. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. I got some things I wanted tonight. Changes of formation. Earlier, more attacking substitutions. I got great intensity in that first half. But I still got so many things that I don't want. So many things that I dislike. No intensity at the beginning of the second half. You bring it back to 4-3 and no defensive structure, sleeping again. For the neutral, a barnstormer, entertaining, exhilarating. You could hear the commentator at the end of the game on Sky Sports talking about what an amazing game. Carragher saying, best game of the season. Not for me. Not for me. It's 7 points dropped from the last 3 home games. 7 points dropped out of 9 in the last 3 home games. It ain't good enough. It isn't good enough. It's so frustrating. It's so, honestly, I don't know right now, I don't know what to say. Right now, I'm almost at a loss for words. I feel sick. I feel genuinely sick. That's how that game made me feel. As ever, people, like, share, subscribe. But I feel sick. Truly, truly sick to my stomach. And there are things to be positive about tonight. There are things to praise tonight. There are also things to be exhausted with. There are things to be fuming with. There are elements to want to pull your hair out after. I feel so... I've never had this experience ever as a football fan. Right now, my physical being feels polarized. I feel so polarized as a human being. I don't even know what to do. Genuinely. I feel wrecked. Because let me break this down. Listen, like the video, please share, subscribe, hype it up. I get it was an amazing game for a neutral. I get it. I'm going to start with the positives because there are some, and I don't want to pretend that there's not things to be positive about tonight. I loved how he played football in an attacking sense. I've said all along the attacking element, or I've said on a number of occasions, not all along, that would be a lie. I've said that the attacking element of the game under Amorim doesn't bother me too much. It's more on the players. We get the ball into the right areas, but we have to be more. We have to have more intensity. We have to kill the games off when we get opportunities. The balls into the box have got to come earlier. We've got attacking bunches, maintain intensity, work rate. Often people think attacking football is about ability. It's more so about work rate, repetition. And we did that tonight. Ahmad consistently running at his fullback. Delo, for the opening goal, an early ball into the box, and we should have been 2 or 3-0 up. It was brilliant. And I'm sitting there with a smile on my face going, well, there you have it, boys. You can do it. There were some changes from the manager tonight. We had 3 at the back, but instead of reverting to a back 5 when we went defensive, we went to a back 4. And it kind of threw Bournemouth. They didn't know what to make of it. And it really paid dividends in the early part of the game. We took the lead, and I was loving it. And then you have the negative side, which is we let up. A mistake from Luke Shaw to begin with, out-muscled. And then I'm not going to go mad at Aiden Heaven tonight, even though he was at fault for 2 of the goals. But he's got to get across and cut that angle off of Semenyo. We made it far too easy. 1-1. And I'm thinking, right, come on, how do we react? Then you get another positive. We reacted brilliantly, went back to attacking, created opportunities, got a corner, scored from it. A little fortuitous. Petrovic should have saved it, but we go in 2-1 up. And you think, okay, overall, when you review that game, when you look at it, when you break it down, you look at it and you go, excellent first half from Man United. 17 shots. No one's had that many in the first half of a Premier League game. Almost complete control. Real dominance throughout. Yes, there was the brief lapse up with the Semenyo goal, but the response is what you want to see. Maintain the work rate and intensity. We go 5th. That's it. Point blank. No one will convince me otherwise. But 40 seconds into the start of the game, flat, not staying in shape, sloppy, and inevitably, we're punished again. It was a mess. The beginning of that second half, and it's a theme with Man United, it's a theme with Ruben Amorim's Man United, that we start the second half so badly, so poorly. Then we concede on the counter. I don't think Cash should have given the foul away, but I get why he did. They score from the free kick, and it's the only part of the game where I'm really upset with Lemaines because he made a great save in the first half. In case I forget, he saved us with a goal at the end. But he should do much better from the free kick, but it's 3-2. And I'm sitting there watching it going, hang on a fucking minute. How have we had that performance for the first 50 minutes of the game? That's including injury time. And within a couple of minutes of the second half, we're 3-2 down. Then comes the positive part. And this is why I'm so torn tonight. Because the manager then makes changes that we've all been begging him to make. Bring Mainoo on earlier. Does it. Bring Šeško on. Makes attacking substitutions. Goes properly 4 at the back. And we actually play some beautiful football. There was a bit of play where Mainoo's bobbing forward, 1-2s. We're playing beautiful football. We get a rightful free kick. Bruno scores a screamer. What a goal. Was it a minute later? 2 minutes? I don't even know how many minutes later. A minute later, Cunha puts us in front. And I'm sitting there going, yes, this is a United performance to savor and to hold on to grow from. And then we go back to what we did at the beginning of the second half. We lose our intensity. For me, I tweeted it just so people can see there's proof that. I just tweeted saying attack, 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 attack. Keep the pressure on. Keep the intensity. But we go to this halfway house of nothingness. Few players pushing up. Big hole in the middle. Ball slipped through. Not intense enough. Lose the second balls. Ball slipped in. Lisandro Martinez is asleep. Bang, it's 4-4. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. And then to be honest with you, from it being 4-4 until the final whistle, which was 15 minutes later, I didn't think we were very good. It was almost as if we recovered from one setback in the first half to go 1-1. We recovered from being 3-1 down to go being 3-2 down to be 4-3 up. And then when it went 4-4, there was nothing left. We had one good attack. And I think there's 2 people at fault here. I think Bruno overhits the final ball. But I also think Šeško has got to just gamble on that. Gamble the ball's going to go across, and he doesn't. And it annoyed me. And look, Lemon saved us at the end, a really good save, but we were just not at the races enough. And as I say, when I say I don't know how to feel, I mean I don't know how to feel about the whole game. Nothing's changed in my mind about Ruben Amorim. I don't think he's the guy. And in some respects, some people are going to think I'm being harsh here, but watching him make the changes he did tonight, watching him go 4 at the back, make the attacking substitutions, it makes me a little angry about the Everton game. It makes me angrier about the West Ham game because we could have done it then. And maybe this 4-4 draw doesn't feel as bad because you won those matches. But at the end of the day, we're trying to get back into Europe. We're trying to progress as a team. And we've thrown away a 1-0 lead, a 2-1 lead, and a 4-3 lead at home. It isn't good enough. And I spoke about this at the end of the last game, one of the last games that we played. And I spoke about how our defensive shape is such a problem. It's such a problem. We cannot keep goals out. And a lot of people don't want to... A lot of people don't want to talk about it because they think, this is what I said on the 8th of December. Thank you for sending it through to me. Amorim's defensive setup is an absolute disgrace at the moment. The shape is all over the place and leaves United far too easy to play through and punish. And once again, that was a vile first half for Man United. As much as the players have been poor, Amorim is blunting the sword again. And I feel like that. And maybe blunting the sword is the wrong expression because that would mean you're blunting the attack. I don't mind the attack. I've always felt that the manager's job is to get the ball near the opponent's box and then it's down to the players to deliver. We just can't defend. We really, really can't defend. Because when you actually look at the table, we sit 6th in the table, which is frustrating now when we should be in 5th. We've scored 30 goals. We're the second highest goal scorers in the league. The second highest goal scorers in the league. We have as many goals as tabletop as Arsenal. It's only City on 38 with more goals than us. But we've conceded 26. To put that into context, you have to go down to, ironically, Bournemouth in 13th. And then you have to go down to Leeds in 17th for a team whose defense is as bad. And your defense is so much more about your shape, so much more about the positioning, so much more about your bottle, so much more about your work rate. And we don't have it. And that's why I'm gutted tonight, because we should have won that game. And the problem is, that's been 3 home games on the bounce now that I truly believe we should have won, either having a 10-man advantage for most of the game, we are a better team than West Ham, and the leads that we had and the domination that we had in the game. That should be 7 more points. And I don't care what rivals say. Yes, it should be. And this goes back to prove something. Because you're all laughing, rivals. But yet you're the same guys that go, oh, if buts and maybes ain't part of football. It is. It's because of the if buts and maybes here why I'm fuming at this team, why I'm so angry at Ruben Amorim. Because we should have 7 more points. We should be sitting there on around 33 points. That's where this team should be, but it isn't, because the manager made stupid decisions in the majority of those games. These players don't have bottle. They do not have an arse. They do not have the courage enough at times to see through adversity. When we went 4-3 up, Man United have got to go on a win from there at Old Trafford. It's so disappointing again. Look, I want to get your views. I want to get your opinions on this. I am just broken tonight. Absolutely broken at this. It hurts. It really, really hurts. It really hurts. Man City fan here says just delete the club. Listen, let's wait to see 115 results before we start talking about deleting clubs. You literally might have your history deleted soon. But yeah, look, yeah. Get Bruno out. I mean, if you think... Sorry, where's that gone? Where's that gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? If you think Bruno Fernandes was the problem tonight, please do one. Please. Again, least of our issues tonight of all nights. But yeah, I just knackered. Terry, talk about the biased referee against United again. Look, I actually messaged that to KJ in the first half. I feel like there's sometimes fouls when as soon as our players get physical in games, they always get blown up. I also don't understand how Semenyo can grab someone by the throat. I thought that was a red card offence. It is when Casemiro does it. Hang on a minute. No Bournemouth robbed in the title. If that was another club, you would have 100% been in the title. That Bruno goal shouldn't have been a free kick. It was handball. With the same handball he gave against Kobe Mainoo a few minutes later. Get the fuck out of here saying that wasn't a handball. Fuck me, Pink. Ah, you silly fucking... Fuck off. What are you talking about? It weren't handball. Nonsense. Behave yourself. Listen, there's so much you could have a go at Man United for tonight, but you're moaning about a free kick that was. Fuck me. Fuck me. And even if it is, even if it wasn't a handball, even if it isn't, what do I say about calling out the referees? If it's a decision that cannot be interfered with by VAR, I'll let it go. Consistent with that, aren't I? So do one. Honestly, go. Aulia. There we go. I don't care if it's his shoulder. I don't care. VAR can't get involved. It weren't a penalty. Move on. Said it before, say it again. You guys have watched me long enough to know that. And it's only the dullards and the dickheads and the brain dead that say anything about it. But look, as I say, absolutely gutted with everything tonight. And there'll be some people that'll have a far more clearer thought of mind than me, and that is fair. But right now, I just feel broken. Let's go to some of your comments that have come through here during this show. Point despite the Lowe's attempted murder on Semenyo. Oh, yeah. I don't like it when players do that, but talk about the net grab, yeah? Thank you, Luke Skywalker, for encouraging the likes. Thank you very much. Our long-term issue has been scoring goals, but now we look capable of scoring more is positive. Defence and midfield need fixing with fresh players, as we've been defensively shit, but it's fixable. Yeah, look, maybe it is. Maybe with more energy in the midfield, maybe with more legs in the midfield, that will improve potentially. But we just seem so open. It's still, tonight we were winning, we were playing well, but a couple of passes and the team can get in on us. And that for me is a defensive shape issue more than most things, mate. You're right, John. It was a very entertaining game, and I'm sure rivals absolutely loved every single second of it. And I'm not surprised rivals loved it. I didn't know. A great game for the neutral. What a game. Yeah, I mean, great advert for the Premier League, no doubt. England don't have a proper structure like Europe. What do you mean? With all what's tonight got to do with England? I don't know what you mean, bruv. Nav, let me know what you mean. Bournemouth was robbed. How's a handball hitting someone's face? Oh, it's a face now. Was it his face? Let me go look at this. Let me go look at it. Let me go look at it. But it was real time, right? So VAR can't get involved. Handball Smith. Let me go and have a look. What? Let me ask you about this one then. What about the header from Casemiro that was blocked from going towards goal by Bournemouth player's arm? You guys don't care about that one, do you? But let me just see. I'm just trying to find the footage of it. Was it Smith that handballed it? Because I listened to you guys. I can't find it. There was a handball when the player was jumping up for it. I mean, there was quite a few handballs that didn't go our way as well, Like I've seen, because I've searched handball on Bournemouth. There's loads that didn't go our way that I'm not moaning about, but there we go. I can't see it. Someone send me a link. No, that's from earlier on in the season when Bournemouth got away with it. Someone send me a link if you've got it, and we'll have a little look. Spot on, Terry. I'm more upset that we didn't try to do this against West Ham and Everton. Do you know what, Josh? Maybe that's where my anger comes from tonight. Maybe I can't quite pinpoint exactly what's making me angry, barring not winning the football match. We're basically going to have a basketball matches like tonight in order to win this high-risk, high-reward football. Yeah, and look, when we went 4-3 up, again, I wanted to continue attacking, but you got to attack as a unit. And what we tend to do is we had like Cunha push for the ball and Ahmad was pushing up, but the defense was sitting back too deep. So if you go and look at the goal we conceded to make it 4-4, you've got the sort of front four pushing up and the back. I think Mainoo and the back line dropping deep like this. No, Mainoo was still in the centre, but he was tucked in for like a press. But you had this massive area. If we actually put, it doesn't work on these screens so well. We had this massive area and disconnect. What needed to happen is what we should have done is had the whole, if we're going to attack, the whole team should be pressing into that area together. That way, when that ball breaks into the middle, our fullback can get there, or their fullback is tucked in more centrally, but he's easier to tackle. But we're disconnected. And that's because what happened for me in that moment, part of it is the system and shape, but it's the team and the mentality. You either keep attacking as a team or you defend as a unit. But you've got to do both together. How we used to press under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Like one person would press at a time and leave holes in the system. You either press as a team or you sit in. And we half pressed and we half sat in, and it led to that space. Nav here says that's the problem with the actual root cause from top to bottom. It's something England need to work on. The development of English football. When we watch Premier League football, it's extremely poor now. I mean, you say that, but then the English teams have been doing very well in Europe the last few years. So what does that, like, how do you explain that, Nav? How do you explain you're a Chelsea fan you're champions of the world? How do you explain that to me? Make that make a bit of sense, please, brother. Make that make a little bit of sense. And thank you for this super chat. You didn't say anything, but thank you very much for the donation this evening. Oh! I'm bringing out some people because it's gonna make me feel better. I need to think and listen to other people for a moment. The one thing, I love going live straight after games, but sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I wish I had 20 minutes, 30 minutes to just think. It's easy, like if we lose like 3-0 in a game, but we're 3-0 down after 60 minutes, I can sit there before the end of the game and think. But when you're watching a match until the last kick and you don't really, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say. I'm just watching the game. So frustrating, man. Right, KJ and Cam are coming on with me on the show tonight. Welcome, gentlemen. Obviously, not. I don't know. I'm not going to say not a. I don't think it's a great night. I don't know how anyone feels. I can't even. I cannot. I can't regulate my own emotions right now. But KJ, what did you make of tonight? Good, bad, and indifferent.
I'm conflicted in terms of how I'm supposed to react right now. In terms of, they got half of me that's like, we're in a rebuild. We've been down in the dumps for a long time. This is one of the better performances that we've seen, so I'm happy about that. But then there's the other side where I'm like, guys, you scored 4 goals at home. You took the lead 3 times in the game. You have to win that. You don't draw that game. Like, if you said those stats to just random people, or if a team scores 4 goals and they take the lead 3 times, do you expect them to win? Most people would say, yeah. You know what I mean? So the defensive display, the attacking display are like the polar opposites of each other. So I'm in the middle. I'm tranquilo. You know what I mean? I'm there where I'm like, okay, overall, is this something I want to see again? And in attacking aspect, yes. The 4-4-2 while we're attacking, I was very happy with that. The way the players interlinked, the way that Cunha and Mbeumo were linking up, the way that Ahmad was getting into the right spaces, great and having great chances. The way that Mount was drifting in from the left-hand side, create like a closer front three, or sometimes helping out in the midfield, allowing Dalot space down that side. I was happy with all of that. That was good. We need to do that more. That was a bit more traditional Man United. One thing I've been talking about recently, or one of the things I've been talking to you about, some guys in the group chat, I don't feel like we're Man United right now. I just want to get to the place where I want the club that I fell in love with back. And it's not even about the trophies, it's about the play, it's about the players that we play. It's just about how we do things. And attacking wise, that made me feel like, okay, cool. That's something I want to see moving forward. Like that. If that Cunha to Mbeumo pass went in, if Mbeumo scored that, I'm gone. You know what I mean? My head's in to the moon, because that is classic Man United George partnership kind of goal, right? So you've got all of that. We should have scored 3 goals before Bournemouth even had their first, and that's where, in terms of an attacking display, I will look at the players more than the manager and be like, yo, listen. You had a platform there to actually go and win the game in the first half, and you failed to take it every time. And we know what we're like as a team right now, where we are defensively fragile. Our midfield will get cut open. So when we do get up there, we need to be scoring goals. And here's a lot of pressure on the attackers, but that's why we spent 60 million again on these guys, because it's, you guys are meant to go win these games, and they fail to do that. On the defense, though, flipping hell. Like, I don't know if it's a lack of, well, it is a lack of concentration. It's a poor kind of defensive awareness, lack of P&P, lack of pace and power. I'll keep saying it until we get more, especially for I think it's the third goal, the third goal led to the free kick. Tavernier just ran through our defense. Clivert was running through our midfield and our defense, and that's a massive problem. And the way that Amorim sets us up defensively, we need to improve that. Our midfielders get told to push up high, which is fine if they can run the back the other way. We have Bruno and Cass, who as soon as they're up there in the opposite half, boy, is looking long for them to come back. So maybe adjust the distances, maybe adjust their patterns, maybe tell some of the defenders. I'm pretty sure he's trying to tell the defenders this, but push up a bit more. I don't know, but we need to fix this defensive structure overall. I think we can improve with new midfielders. I believe that. I don't necessarily think all our defenders are as bad as maybe the stats and the goals conceded may look. Lamens today did a lot of work for us, saved our ass quite a few times. So in terms of the defensive players individually, I'm okay with them. It's just as a unit, how do we get the best out of them? How do we get the midfield and the defense to be in sync so that we don't get cut through by one ball and we don't get ran through by one player?
But I think AJ, one thing I thought you were going to talk about is the P&P part, right? So this is the thing. We probably all feel the same way. Watch, we're gonna go and beat Villa. Watch, and we're gonna feel real pissed off about this game. That's what's gonna happen. If we had just won the games, I'm sitting there watching this game, being like, how did this team not beat Everton and West Ham? That was bothering me the entire game, watching how well we played from an attack sense. But when you look at Amorim's system and the way he wants to play football, like this is going to happen and it's going to keep happening because we just don't have the right players to do what he wants to do. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for the manager. At the end of the day, he legitimately. Today, no one can blame him. He made all the changes he was supposed to. He played a 4-4-2 when we were in attack. He played a back five when we weren't. Like I'm just gonna rattle off a few stats here. It's kind of crazy when you look at it. We had 3.29 expected goals, 25 shots, 9 on target. We had 10 block shots, 1 hit the woodwork, 18 inside the box, 7 shots from outside the box. If I were to rattle these off to you before the game and said that we were gonna play this well from attacking sense, score 4 goals. You would never ever guess that we drew the game. You'd be like, no chance did they go out, Murad, do their thing, look like the United of old, but we still drew. And the big problem we now have is at the end of the day, we've got this 18-year-old who's not ready. He's not ready to be the center back on his own. He's just not ready, and that's not his fault. He's thrown in there. We sorely missed Delit. Anybody who's like, oh, Delit's trash and Maguire's trash. Either of those guys, they were probably okay because they're just going to be in better position. If we have a Baliba or a DM who has a bit more legs than Cass gave it his all. That's the thing. You're watching. This guy ran. I'm not even mad at that. I was mad at the fact that he got the foul and he still scored because now we lose him anyway. So that's why you're mad. But this man gave it everything he had in those 36-year-old legs and just it had to die.
When he was the one running through to that Bruno pass in the first half, I was like, what the fuck are you doing there?
Yeah. I don't know what he was doing.
Like this guy doesn't have he doesn't have that in him anymore. So the way Amorim plays, like that's gonna happen a lot. You're gonna have a lot of situations where you need a DM who can make up that space, or you're gonna need a center back who's really sound on positioning, who's not out of position. Like there's a few players I will say that were super impressed for me. Again, it's like Mount was becoming scary for me as Mount is becoming an integral part of our team. But I know Mount's going to get hurt within the next 5 games. So that's what scares me. I don't like saying that's why I don't like it. It's not that I don't want the kid. I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, Mount shit, I don't want to be good. No, I know a player like him who has a lot of injury concerns. When you become so important to the team and then we lose you, it becomes a problem. So I will say he's looked great for us. I was happy with the Sesko, like how Sesko looked when he came on. I know he had that one drive where he got, he had the 1 foot put out button, but outside of that, he looked good on the ball. He looked composed. The biggest thing we honestly miss is composure. Like when you think about the expected goals, when you think Brian Mbeumo was terrible today, man. He was terrible. Like at the end of the day, like that one shot, it's like the one shot that he absolutely had. Like it came to him. If he just took his time and he skied it and he rocketed it over, you're like, that should have been a goal. Cunha, honestly, I know Cunha's not clinical. So here's the thing. I don't actually, when he misses those opportunities, like the one he missed, that should have been a goal as well. I don't get as mad because I just know he doesn't have that in him. With Mbeumo, I do. So it's a tough one for me because we have a great attack who are still not scoring goals when they need to, timely goals. Because like you said, Terry KG at the start, if we get 3-1 up, I do think it's different. Because then the confidence that Bournemouth gains goes away. Like they don't have that confidence. They're not coming at it. You do sack that away from them. So for me, honestly, like I'm so torn because I don't ever like just drawing a game. I'm not going to be like, yeah, we drew. But this is kind of where our level is at. And at very least,
yeah, Cam, I think what you said, though, is again, maybe a lot of my frustration is the fact that if we would have actually bothered to have attacked like this against West Ham and against Everton, maybe tonight's draw doesn't hurt in this way because it would have been 7 points from those games rather than just 2 points from those games, and you maybe feel a little differently. You're higher in the league table. You can stomach it maybe a little bit more. I want to address something before I go to the boys for a moment. So a few people have sent me through this, which shows it hitting the shoulder of Smith, and looks borderline from that angle, but I can confirm, just so everyone knows, I'm a fair guy. I can see why people would say that shoulder. Yeah, and they don't think it's a handball.
It's harsh for sure.
But this is the biggest point here. That's a real decision given in real time. VAR cannot get involved. The same people with the energy saying that why weren't it looked at? Why wasn't this that hit a man's arm when it was going on target, on goal, right? That's not next to his body. That wasn't reviewed either from Casemiro's header. So all I'm asking for you guys in the chat is same energy, please, because that, I don't know, boys, is that in the red zone or is that in the green zone on his arm?
Yeah, if we're being fair, when you watch the whole replay, I think it comes off his thigh or something.
Well, it hits his chest slightly, but from my point of view, it's still going on goal.
Yeah, but in the rules, it says if it's your body part first and then your arm is.
Wasn't there one the other day that we didn't get, and then there was one?
This one, KJ, this one didn't hit his body.
He didn't hit his body. You just see his arm straight.
Either way,
I know what you're talking about, KJ. This is a different one. This is from Casemiro's head directly to the guy's arm. But I actually think that people are crying for a decision that is there is 1,000 pushes being given on the center of the game.
I didn't bring up any.
I don't understand. Like people in the chat talking about.
I didn't bring up any of the decisions. I was just shocked for people to sit there and start going Man United, rob Bournemouth. I'm sitting there going, what? I mean, their player grabbed one of ours round the throat tonight.
To be honest, people in the chat, if this was a penalty and it's not looked at, yes, referees get corners wrong, referees get goal kicks wrong, referees get pushes wrong. This is, maybe you think it's a wrong decision. I think it's borderline, and the referee chose to give it as a handball. VAR cannot intervene. Move on. Bruno scored a brilliant goal.
Bruno still put it top corner.
It happens 50 times in the season between a push, a jump, a handball, a tug of the shirt. As long as it's outside the 18 and it's not blatant, this didn't hit his head and he's given it as a handball. It hit basically borderline, and the referee chose to give it as a handball. I don't think it's almost robbed any of this.
And his right to also make the call to think that the player did something, put his arm out. Like he was right there. So at the end of the day, I think it's really tough with those ones.
It was a harsh call. It was a harsh call, and I see why people are complaining. But I'm not being funny. If Casemiro grabbed someone by the throat today, he'd be off, right? So for me, that's it. There's no complaining about decisions.
But you have to understand, David, why Mainoo did this. That was so nasty.
Yeah,
even the comment.
It's not good.
This is borderline very dangerous.
What Delo did, I agree with you. I don't like when footballers do it. Harry Kane is anonymous for doing it.
Yes.
However, it's one of those weird rules where it's not even a yellow card offense when you do it. It's a weird one, right? So it's not nice, but he did it. The point is, you know as well as I do, there are certain players, if Casemiro grabs someone around the throat,
for sure.
If Granit Xhaka grabs somebody around the throat, you boys know straight away VAR is going to get... He probably slightly got lucky tonight, Semenyo, that it was just a split second. But what Delo should do is go down over his throat. You've got to do it.
It balances the decision out, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I hear that. But on that, though, I want to ask Mo, what, as a neutral tonight, Mo, I know you're wearing a United shirt, big up OK Jersey, 8% discount with Judge Mo discount code. What did you make of the United performance tonight? Because
I have a couple of points. Number one, today's performance for Man United, number one, you cannot trust any of the stats or any of the sofa scores. Mason Mount got way lower rating than Mbeumo. And I thought Mason Mount was very good, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's... And like I actually agree with Cam. Mason Mount was moving the ball very well. His passes opened up Bournemouth very well. And I think he shouldn't have been hooked off. And it's, by the way, it's being hooked off by the names. And I actually fault Amorim for this shit. It's by the name. Mason Mount was, if you want to bring on a striker, pick up Mbeumo. He was shit. He was shit in front of the goal. I'm sorry. This was a name. This was a name.
Mason Mount is injury prone, though, man.
You also got to remember, Mbeumo is our top goal scorer. He could also find a winner out of nowhere.
It's not just that, KJ. Mason Mount is injury prone.
You know that Mason Mount is actually he's a very good system player.
But Mo, I don't think he can play a full 90.
Agreed. That's it. I think he has to take him off, man.
Played our first one in 3 years, like 2 weeks ago or something.
Man, if you're gonna say that, fine. Maybe
that. No, truly, no.
I agree with you, Mo.
I agree with you.
But you guys, as Man United, you guys saw the system breakdown when Mount.
I agree. Right? And Mount is an important part of the system.
And that is on the manager. Right. It's on the manager because every time it went to Mount, he did exactly what the manager wanted, which is. He switched the play very well. He picked up all the right passes, all the right, which is something that players like Cunha, which is again Terry, same thing. I hope that you wrote it down. Cunha looked Amad Diallo one-on-one in front of his eyes and chose to turn inside again.
Yeah.
He did it again 2 times in the first time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why are you doing? The system is meant to isolate your wing back one-on-one. And he actually, Amad Diallo was brilliant one-on-one today, right? Yeah. And he looked him in the eye.
He heard my analysis last time, man.
He looked him in the eye.
I need to address that real quick. You see these guys like David, they get their takes wrong, and when it flips on them, it's like,
no, that's it. Ahmad obviously watches the Football Terrace. That's it, isn't
it? Offensively, the way Man United moved the ball in the first half was absolutely scintillating, right? It is all when it comes, like even the exchange that happened between Mbeumo and Cunha changing positions. And Mbeumo getting on the end of that cross. That was
Rooney RVP.
Guys, that is and anybody that doesn't see this, this is a training ground move that actually, this was from the training ground, exchanging position, pull a defender out to isolate Mbeumo one-on-one, and the cross was magnificent. Of course, Mbeumo, I don't know why he went for the overhead kick or whatever he did, for some whatever reason. But Man United, again, Casemiro today played brilliant 45 minutes, and then his brother went on in the second half. Again, it's the same shit. His brother went on in the second half. That split took every single last ounce of his. So I'm going to say something about Man United defense because we were speaking in the group chat, me and Cam and Couch and the other guys. I actually think that Man United, without the likes of Maguire, without the leadership of Maguire, and without Licha at the back, you see that experience in heaven, and Linioro's not there. They will cut open, bro, because the positioning is not there. Because an 18 years old and a 19 years old cannot lead the Man United defense. And I actually think that the center of the defense, you can, in Inter, mostly the central defender is the most important guy, that guy, and heaven. As good as and physically he is, he's too young to read the game. He's too young to make the right decisions. And it was very obvious. He's very young to put that much pressure in front of 80,000 people. And then for him to do that, I think I'm not sure who can play. There's nobody I looked in the bench and there's nobody but Licha, like Lisandro Martinez, who cannot start the game. But I think this is a bottle job from Man United. You bottled it 3 times. I thought that is mostly, you literally bottled it. You went up 3 times at Old Trafford. You should see out the fucking game, bro. You should see out the game.
No, Mo is right. We should have seen the game out. And I still think the best thing I stand on it, we should have carried on attacking, but we don't. We ended up doing 50-50, created a massive hole in the shape again, and it led to that goal. It's just, that's why I feel so conflicted, because part of me feels like tonight, when we went 4-3 up, part of me was going, actually, I think I prefer this to a 4-0 in the sense of we got through the adversity and we fought back and we never say died. The Bruno, like the bit that makes me sad is there's loads of things to criticize, but that Bruno free kick will now be forgotten about. The Cunha doesn't get that winner, and there are moments that can help galvanize you. And I just the maddest bit is, like I've said, you look at the facts of the matter. You know, remember one of the conversations we had in the summer, Mo, and I got a lot of stick for it when I said I think we can score 20 plus additional goals this season. We're now the second highest goal scorers in the Premier League now, joint second with Arsenal. But you have to go almost down to relegation to see a team that's conceded as many goals as Manchester United.
By the facts, number 2 XG. Number 2 XG.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. We'll be right up there.
I think, if I'm not mistaken,
big in the opponent's box. The attacking side of it, and I want to give you. We scored 44 goals in the entirety of last season. We're on 30 already this year. The problem is that we've conceded. I think what we conceded now 28,
26.
So I want to say 28. I could be wrong.
26.
Someone check. I can check. 1 sec.
26,
right? So we've conceded 26. The scary part about conceding 26 is that we're actually tracking to concede 61 goals, which is 5 more than last year. And you've got to look. The reason you do the tracking, David, and I upset you, make you cry, is to give you an idea.
Smiling, my friend.
It's to give you an idea of how many more goals we're conceding so far this season compared to last year. When you look at the goal scoring, though, we only scored 44 in 38 games last season. Now we scored 30 in 16 now. The difference compared to last year is we're tracking towards 71 goals compared to 44 last year. The painful bit is that we haven't worked on fixing the defense. And if we could listen, in fairness, if our defense would have improved at the same rate as our attack, we'd be in the title race. Yeah. But no one expected to jump that.
You don't have a DM. You guys don't have a defensive midfielder that can defend.
No, thank you. I was about to say that.
What guys? Young defenders need a DM in front of them that will be able to position themselves to stop these between the lines passes. Bruno Fernandes, as good as he is, he isn't a DM. He's more of an attacking player. Casemiro's legs are finished.
Yeah, but Mo, no, the problem is...
Imagine if there's Caicedo and Bruno Fernandes. Just imagine that. Imagine if it's a Declan Rice and Bruno Fernandes in the heart of that midfield. I think that would be completely different. Like, this Man United system will not work until Man United get a physical defensive midfielder that is able to stop the opposition from creating these chances from the heart.
Even with that, though, my fear is that it's an instruction that both centre midfielders push really high. We've seen it many times. And line breaking passes, you can be Caicedo. You can't stop. If you're in one place and the ball gets played over there, you can't stop that because the ball's nowhere near you. So we need, as much as we need physical beasts in that midfield, which I want. You also need to adjust their spacing in their timing.
There's that, and I think I don't just think it's a DM. I agree we need that, but I also think you've got to look. We need Van der Ven-esque defenders. I think you need your centre backs and your DM to be strong, powerful, and quick, because it's also stepping out when the danger comes in. Euro actually did it really. I thought Euro and Heaven started the game fantastically. They were beating the Bournemouth players to the punch. The problem is you can't maintain that intensity for 90 minutes. And as soon as we lost out a few of those duels and battles, they can't quite do it. So that's the issue, though, with the system. And I'm getting more and more towards this point, not just because we scored 4 goals today. The biggest issue with this system is how we defend and not how we attack.
Sorry, Terry. Do you know what also helped? If we when it mattered, I know like our possession stats, some will show are kind of high. If when it mattered, we could control the possession, that would really help us too.
Yes,
that's the problem with the system.
Cam,
that is a big problem.
You do not have
the game when we need to. We don't. When we need to, we don't. We're not.
Okay, so here is the thing. Here is the difference between Man United and the majority of the teams out there. You guys have a lot of risk takers. So that is, the manager cannot do anything about that. He cannot. Like, he cannot ask Amad Diallo to stop dribbling, or Cunha to stop dribbling, or Mbeumo to stop dribbling.
We're not asking him to stop dribbling. it's the passes from Bruno and Cass when it like there's one literally in the second half in the extra time.
You aren't in control. You guys know that you aren't in control the majority of the time in the game.
The ball in the corner of the pitch. He has got all the time in the world. I was like, okay, cool. We've got time. Compose yourself. Let's build up the ball into the half and squeeze them in like they did to us. What does he do? Man, launches it like 50, 70 yards. I'm just like, bro, come on, man. You're the guy.
No, I agree. And that's still where I hope Staffy isn't watching. If you are, please don't get angry. That's still where I'm not even looking at the coach. That's where I'm still looking at Ineos and saying, because again, this actually feeds into what Staffy's spoken about. We need more midfielders that, listen, what I would give to have some Vitinha-esque players in this team that for the right moments and the right time to control things, that irrespective of by the way, we need that irrespective of whatever the system and manager is. A lack of control is a problem. I did want to ask about a midfielder, and I'm going to go to David first on this. What did you make of the 30-minute cameo from Kobbie Mainoo tonight?
I thought he showed what he's good at, right? Small, intricate 1-2s with people around him, controlling the ball so well. His first touch was great. He was always looking forward. He was always looking to make a run. Listen, I've been harsh on him and said he's not pulled up trees, but when he's got players around him, he's fantastic. And here comes KJ, right?
Yeah, because you called him not good enough in the group chat. Yes, you did say that.
Yeah. And earlier today on Six-Sided, I don't think he's pulled up trees. But when he performs like that, fantastic. I'll get behind the fella. I mean, he was great today. I just don't think he's the answer to our midfield and what we need in midfield in the system that the manager wants to play. That's what I'm saying. But today in that 4-4-2, Amorim 4-4-2, shall we call it, that suits Mainoo. That he looks better in that system. But guys, all I'll say is I've been nothing but negative since arriving on this platform. But that I can get behind today. That was amazing to watch, man. I've watched my team score 8 goals in 2 games. You know, so many families, you talk about United's history, so many families go to watch Man United at Old Trafford now at this time of year because of Christmas. And they've come away today watching their team score 4 goals. That's what it's all about, right? I haven't seen us play like this under this manager ever. I was off my seat every second. Mo mentioned that cross from that cross from Cunha to Mbumo. I mean, it was Rooney to RVP-esque. It was just a shame Mbumo wasn't on form today, but I'll give him a pass because he's been one of our best players
You're not sarcastic, are you?
No, I'm not being sarcastic, Mo. I am so happy with today's performance.
Today he's happy.
And I think we can all agree this was game of the season. This was game of the season so far, right?
Yeah, for all the wrong reasons in our
listen,
I think this is the first time. It's the first Man United fan I've actually worked with where it's not as entitled. He knows what his team is, and he's just happy that he scored 4 goals.
I am happy. And you know what? We're not on minus goal difference for once.
David, you know that every single content creator, every single pundit will actually absolutely slaughter Man United in the media today. You know that, right?
They could do whatever they want. All I know is I've been Amorim out for a very long time because I've not seen what I've seen today. And what I've seen today will get me behind this manager, will get me behind this team. That's what I want to see. Attacking football, feeling like my team can turn a game around. When we lost 3-2, I'm in certain group chats. You guys all know what I'm talking about. They're talking about we're going to lose our record. We're going to lose our record. It's the 50th minute, guys. Have faith in what the team has shown you.
I mean, Judge is real, though. It helps. Let him do it.
We turned it around today to go 4-3. I'm gutted we didn't win it. But, guys, this manager's got 8 points.
You should have lost.
He's got 8 points from 5 games, right? Le Mans saved us today. He showed some De Gea-like saves. I'm in a great mood about this today. Honestly, 8 points from 5 games is progress. These guys usually beat us 3-0 for fun, these guys do, right? And we actually competed for once. We're 6th in the table. Guys, I think we've got something to support here and something to get behind. I'm in a great mood.
You're 2 points behind title contenders Chelsea, at least.
Okay.
Not bad.
Listen. That's all good, yeah? The 6th and the points is good. But when we're talking about our play, and this is the first time we've seen the 4-4-2. Yeah, cool. I liked it. I enjoyed that. But we need to see that next week and the week after, the level of performance and level of goals before I can sit here and say yes, we can fully get behind it 100%. I will happily let Ruben Amorim out of the doghouse if he can prove that he can keep do these things, and then also while improving.
Yes. But hold on, Terry. But KJ, the counter to what you're saying, David is speaking about the attacking side. In the table, Manchester United, second top goal scorers in the league, second highest XG, third highest big chances created, only 4 behind Manchester City, right? Like 1 behind Arsenal, which is top of the Premier League. Yeah. Attacking wise, the players let the manager down.
Yeah,
during the whole season, right? Attacking wise, Man United create the chances that are needed to be higher on the table. It's all about the
no. What's let us down? Sorry, KJ, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, but before Terry comes in and finishes the point brilliantly, that is great. I've not come in here and said that
it's a pay rise, didn't he?
I've not said the attack isn't improving. I've not said things like I've said I've liked the attacking today, but we're also like near the bottom for goals conceded. You know what I mean? We're also chances against. We're also near the bottom. Also, it's one of those ones where if you look at our goals conceded versus our expected goals, the disparity is way too high. You know what I mean? Because we concede quality chances compared to loads of little chances and they don't score.
But Terry has said it so many times before.
I'm just reserved. I'm happy with the improvements, but we need to go more.
Terry said it so many times before. When we do match reactions, let's just focus on the match, right? And I get you don't trust the team. But if we focus on today, KJ, be honest. Have you seen us play like we played today?
I've said that.
This is it though, David, right? So in terms of today's game, I think all of us, the United fans, have said very similar in the sense of when I was doing my match reactions, why it's nice to sit and listen afterwards sometimes and reflect on my own views. I was so conflicted. But what I was very honest about is what part of my anger is going back to is where were these substitutions against Everton, against West Ham, and against other teams? And to Mo's point, I don't think it's our attack that's let us down this season. Of course, there are individual moments where players should have scored. What has let us down this season has been the volume of goals that we have conceded, the easy goals that we have conceded, but by the way, in so many games. And sometimes it's been because there's a disconnect with the midfield and the system's too open. Other times I put it sometimes on the players, they get a little bit shaky. You think, and it's always the amount of times again this season that we've lost games in moments. For instance, we were so good in the first half, I felt, away against Forest. Really impressed. 1-0 up. I was like, yeah, this feels really good. First 5 minutes of the second half, bang, bang, 2 goals, 2-1 down. Happens again today. Looking at the overall picture, for me as well, I'll give you a working life example. I look at Amorim like he's a member of your staff who's underperformed. And then today, after basically showing and telling you for months, I can't do it. The process doesn't make sense. Oh, I don't like the form I've got to fill in. My computer never works. I can't get the sales done. The phone when I demonstrate, I'm going back to my phone selling days. Every time I try and turn the phone on to the demo phone, it never works. It's not my fault. I'm not hitting my sales. Suddenly he has like a day or a week where he does everything perfect, hits all his numbers, everything's how it should be. And you got part of you's like, well done. Part of you's like, so you've basically been fucking bullshitting us for the past period of time. And for me now, if he continues to do more of what he did today, I think where you're right, David, is people will start to go, okay, well, I can see what I was saying it earlier today, it's pretty privilege. Make the football better, more entertaining, more attacking. And fans will go, come on, let's give him better defenders and better midfielders. And let's see what we can do. The problem is when you go 1-0 up, want to kill the game off, but instead you bring on Ugarte and sit back for 25 minutes and be defensive, you're never going to get the buy-in from people. So I think there has to be a mixture in this. But overall, for me, like, I do get it. I want to just try and go back to Mainoo for a minute because we kind of went back off course on that. No, that's fine. It's fine. But I just wanted to say on Mainoo, because I didn't speak about it earlier, I love what I saw from him tonight. It's everything we've been missing in this team. And there was a moment, it didn't lead to a goal, but there was more of it, where like he gives the ball to Bruno and he carries on running, gets the ball back, plays it into Cunha, gets another 1-2, plays it into the striker. And it wasn't just, it was simple 1-2s, and it was, he's never going to pass like Paul Scholes. I don't think he's ever going to thread balls through and break lines consistently like KDB does. But what he does do and I don't know what the modern day tactical term for this is, but he's very good with the ball in tight spaces, and he's able to give the ball and go, and it creates space, it creates openings, and it moves your opponents. And we don't do that enough. And I love what Mainoo did today. I hope the manager, I want to see him start, but I hope the manager goes into this. You guys were saying 4-4-2. I thought it was more 4-2-4, but with
God knows what it was. It was weird.
I don't really care because I'm not a tactical. I don't actually care about the shape. But what I saw, the bit that I loved, it wasn't even the Mainoo bit. It was when Delo got the ball and started running forward, and I went, someone's ahead of him. I was so excited again. I don't want to go to wing. Honestly, please don't. I hate wing backs. Now, actually, when watching us in that shape, and by the way, I got your point about Mount coming off, but the 2 goals we scored, that moment, that all came through changing shape. And at least Amorim do that more regularly in games. And do you know what? Maybe we're not chasing it as hard sometimes. And maybe you've got a substitution or 2 left. And if you go 2 goals clear, make the change and go back to a back 5 and sit out and be compact. I don't mind that. But I want to see more Mainoo. He demonstrated today exactly what he's good at doing. And he needs to get more games. And now that Ahmad's gone and now that Mbumo's gone, I mean, something's got to give.
Maybe
something.
He will.
So, Tal, what I was going to say is I hope that what he saw today, because it's been weirdly combative with Mainoo. It's like, okay, we get it. Everybody wants him and you're the manager and you don't want to do what everyone's saying. But it's like, I hope you saw today that it makes way more sense to bring him on than Ugarte. That's like that's got to be the biggest takeaway. I don't care about anything else other than him being able to make the team work where you don't have to think that Ugarte makes more sense when Cass comes off. Just bring in Mainoo and you can make it work with Bruno when you're playing a team like Bournemouth. I do understand when you're playing a team like if you're up against a Liverpool or whatnot and you're just like, I just can't trust it. I really just got to go defensive. I do get when he does that. And I don't actually have an issue with that in those games because we've won those games. But when you're playing Everton's, West Ham's and all that, bring in the kid who can make something happen. Bring in the kid who actually has tech and who can control the ball. Do that. And no one, you're right. I think all United fans would actually look at it and go, fair play. Cool. You're giving Mainoo 30 minutes within the system as you know it could work right now because you don't think he works perfectly within the system. Yeah. But at least you're giving one of our best players an opportunity to show himself. Because what we've been sitting here worrying is like, well, is he good enough for the system? Because tell me if I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong on this. But I think if we all saw Mainoo play all season, comes off the bench, 60th minute, whatever, plays 30 minutes, maybe starts here or there, and he was poor and then dropped, not one of us would care. We would all be like, fair play. He has shown that it doesn't work. Go replace him. But we don't know that.
That's what I have seen. That's what I have seen, to be honest. When he comes on in that system, not today. Today was something completely different. And whatever we played today, 4-4-2, 4-3, 5-6-7, whatever you want to call it, it suited Mainoo better to come on in that. It did.
Wait, so
anytime I've seen Mainoo
from the minor minutes you've seen of Mainoo, granted in some games he's not played at all. You've seen that he's not been good enough in the system.
I don't think he's been great in that system. No, I don't think he's.
It doesn't work. Yeah, he's right.
No. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm challenging what Davis has seen.
But that's what I'm telling you. You're challenging, and this is what I'm telling you. What I've seen is in Amorim's system. Forget today. In Amorim's system, Mainoo just does not work unless you're going to play him as one of the number 10s.
He's right. He's right. He's correct. He's 100% correct. Guys, Manchester United should be on the front foot, should not be chasing games. So Kobe Mainoo today came on when you were chasing the game.
Wait, which Manchester United are we talking about? Manchester United today or Manchester United of like 10 years ago?
The big Cam, the big picture is that Man United should move forward, be the team on the front foot. You shouldn't be chasing games most of the time, because if that's the case, he should be sacked right away. If your vision of Man United that Mainoo should he should be sacked. I'm sorry. If the vision for Man United is to be in control, to be 1-0 up, 2-0 up, and then maybe the opposition is trying to get back into the game, especially at home. Kobe Mainoo in that system with Bruno Fernandes is very offensive. You cannot do that when you are like, you don't do that. In football, you don't do this. Maybe you start the game if you're in control, but at the end, you need a defensive midfielder that's able to defend. Kobe Mainoo is similar to Bruno, but younger, and he's a going forward.
Overall, I think the managers, I mean, listen, this is the one thing, though, that where I'm not defending, it's not even about defending Ruben Amorim, it's just speaking the truth. Me and KJ are probably the only two, there might be more out there as content I haven't watched. content creators connected to United that have spoke about this. The club have mentioned it. Amorim has mentioned it. Wilcock has mentioned it. A lot of the top journalists have said that sessions have happened in the club and that the longer term aim was always 4-3-3. That we've all been asking this question: why haven't the academy changed the way it plays to the way Ruben is? There is a view that the team is going to switch at some point. Maybe a reason, I mean, it hasn't really worked. We've conceded loads of goals. Maybe one of the reasons for doing it is they felt they could be more defensively strong in that way. I think maybe the manager in stubbornness is waiting for a moment where he can change it, and the international and the AFCON is it. But I think we have to become a team that evolves his shape. I know we still didn't see the game out. Right, and I still think that's personnel, and there's still maybe issues there. But we have got to go into a system that is more four at the back. And then I'll be honest with you, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. But in fairness, they're variations of each other when you actually got the fucking ball. We've got to find a way of playing differently. And then that is where Mainoo comes live. I do agree. I don't want to see Mainoo in a double pivot by himself. Where Mainoo will thrive at his best, I think, is in a midfield three. And him alongside a Elliot Anderson and Wharton as a combination of a three. You cover I'm using those profiles. You cover every base, and Man United, no matter who the manager is, would go to another level with players like that. So we need to aim to improve the squad, but Mainoo needs more game time, and Amorim has got to start adjusting his system, because I think we saw some glimpses of what could be tonight.
Terry, if we look at today, see you, Mo. If we just look at today, nothing but positives, man. Amorim's finally changed his system. Like he's
shipped 4 goals.
His stubbornness. Hold on. But you're acting like we haven't been shipping goals. We haven't been losing games.
You haven't shipped 4. You shipped 4 at home. When's the last time we've done that?
But KJ, Amorim's finally changed his system. That's a plus. Amorim brought Mainoo on instead of Ugarte. That's a plus. He's done everything. Hold on. He's done everything we've been asking for, guys. He's done everything.
What if he goes and undoes this whole thing and has a press conference and says, "See, I brought on Mainoo and we shipped 4 goals."
If he does, but he's not going to do that.
Here's my problem,
Well, in fairness, he can't. When we changed the shape, we won 2-1. Yeah, we won 2-1 from that point.
Here's no problem with what you're saying.
Guy never shuts up. That's
it's
problem.
Because what you've done is just like, he's done the things that I've wanted, so I'm going to ignore the glaring issues that still happened in the game. Like, we can't do that. Like, I'm here for giving the positivity, because I even said I enjoyed what I saw in attacking sense. I want to see it more. But to say that we had nothing but positives, come on, bro, we're shit for.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we haven't had this many positives in a long time in a football match, believe it or not. I know we just beat Wolves 4-1, but I mean, in general, the way we played football, the manager changing his system, Mainoo coming on instead of Ugarte, I'm just really happy. And I agree we conceded 4 goals.
I completely agree with the tons of positive. It's just you said nothing but positive. So I think that's a little hyperbolic.
Yeah.
So I feel you're excited, because I completely agree with you. It's so hard to watch that game. Like I said, if we had won against Wolves and Everton, I would have came out of that game being like, fuck, I won a game.
Can I ask, what was the score last year against Bournemouth?
It was 3-0.
We lost 3-0.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. No, I hear you.
Do you know what's mad? Sorry, Cam. Do you know what's mad about you, David, right? Is this is why you confuse me. Have you got a twin brother and you just like come on and play jokes? Right? Are you like the Chuckle Brothers? Because you only got to go back 10 games ago, and like we actually won a game against Chelsea, and you're sitting there and it's like it's one win, and we were very good up until that red card in that game. And there were games where I was like, well, this was a positive today. You know, this was a positive. And I remember like saying that against Arsenal. By the way, we were very good against Arsenal. We didn't win the game, and you were like, all that matters is winning. Everything else is nonsense. Now, maybe it's because you're learning. I don't know, but that's why you confuse me.
I can explain it. I can explain
it.
I can explain it. I have not seen what I've seen today from Manchester United under Ruben Amorim. This is the best I've seen. And believe me, I'm gutted we conceded that 4th goal and we did not win this game. You saw me in the group chats saying, that's my fucking captain. This is Manchester United. I was gone. I was thinking, oh my God, this is unbelievable. And then to concede the 4th goal, I've not seen this under this manager. And it's not that I've got a twin brother. It's not that I'm a flip-flop. this is the best we've looked under this manager today.
So here's the thing. Okay,
I
so
understand that.
one thing about, because I know you've been against the manager, and I think a lot of people have. And here's one thing that I think is very key, because I'm neither in or out of the manager. I just want to win games. If we keep this manager, meaning we make Europe, because I think that's the only way we keep him. I'm going to be on the boards next so crazy, because you then have to go and get him every player he needs for this system. Because at that point, you are then saying you are bought in, you understand it, you see the positives, all the positives, and you see the deficiencies. The positives, and I will say this, you were completely right. The positives are, when he got it right, attacking wise, we look great. We look great this year. Attacking wise, we have looked good. We bought well. Cool. Defensively, though, we are so far from being able to contend that without getting his players, I don't see how it works. Like the keeper, we didn't talk enough about the keeper today, by the way. If we had Bayindir and Onana in net today, we'd lose that game.
We get smoked,
right?
I mean,
so we've fixed one part of our defense really since he's been here.
If we had Le Mans from the start of the season, I think we could all agree. I think we could all agree we would have at least 3 more points.
I agree with that.
At least. And that puts us where? Tell me where that puts us, because I don't know.
Level with Chelsea, because that's where.
And there we go. Like, we made a huge mistake starting this season with Onana and Bayindir.
No, we did.
Especially because this keeper was on our list the whole time.
We didn't even have him for the first few games, though. He wasn't even signed until the end. He got signed.
Who are we talking about? Le Mans. That's the point I'm making. That is the point I'm making.
I agree on that, boys. I'm going to jump to some super chat just because I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss these here. This here says from Jerome. Big up Jerome. He says there's definitely positives to take out of this game, but tweaks need to be done to the structure at United. I agree completely there, Jerome. At least the halftime score record stays like, mate. Listen.
Can we pause here, Terry? Can we pause?
Here we go.
Because here we go. I want to get into this because David made the comment on the show about people worrying about the record. Listen, until we get good again, and I feel so confident in this team, no matter what happens, I will always be worried about that record. I did quote you. You said you don't care about silly records, right?
It's just true. I'll stand by it.
For me, that is so far away from what Man United are in terms of
Listen, Terry's already told me today he's a better fan than me. Maybe you're going to tell me that as well.
I'm not talking about being a better fan. I'm just saying. Let me land this plane. Little records like that, records like the youth player in every match day squad. Yes, they don't get you a trophy. Yes, they don't mean that you're the best team in the league. But it is a tradition that we have as a club that I don't care who the manager is. If you lose one of those 2 records, you should be sacked immediately because it is Manchester United. It's one of the reasons why I love the club. And that is why I'm always more worried about it.
Can I explain why I called it silly? I know you want to jump into it, but can I just explain why I called it silly?
Yeah, why is it silly?
Number one, silly was a strong word, I admit. But to be talking about that on the 50th minute after seeing the first half that you saw, I think was silly.
No,
I think was quite negative.
Okay, that's fair. Do you know why these records mean something to me? Because when you, for instance, the reason why we're all nervous to play Bournemouth tonight is because they've got a very good recent record against us where they smash us. The reason why we're nervous to play Brighton is because their record against us of late has become very good. One of the reasons that I think we consistently under Fergie won at Villa Park, we won it once, we won it twice, and it was, I might exaggerate this slightly, but it was 25 to 30 years they didn't beat us at Villa Park. So every time you then go there, now you're a good team, is you're already halfway to being the winners before they've arrived, because you always win there. If teams know, and you make sure you put it in program notes, you make sure you push it out there. If you're a very good team and teams know if United are winning at half time, they don't lose. I wasn't born. I'm 40 on Wednesday morning. I'm nearly 40. I wasn't born the last time we were leading at half time at Old Trafford and went on to lose the match. Now, the reason why that record is important is because maintain it. And then if and when we become a good team again, imagine the daunting feeling any team has 1-0, 2-0 down at half time, knowing, okay, it's been 44 years. It's been 50 years since they lost at home. It's massive. It makes everything. And in sport, I feel that inches and marginal gains are absolutely everything. It's knowing that these certain stats and certain statistics that can get into people's heads. And I think that it's all these little things matter at the right times. And I don't want them going. And I think it's the opposite way as well. When you get all the embarrassing results, like how many managers in the last 5, 6, 7 years, or the last 4 or 5 managers have broken so many embarrassing records that we've never had before? It's like, I don't like losing. I don't like the bad records, and I don't want the good ones to go. And I think it's all part and parcel of becoming a better team again. So I don't think they're silly. I think as we try and grow as a club, we've got to maintain some of these. And, you know, Fergie would say it regularly, and our rivals said it. Most teams are beaten in the tunnel at Old Trafford, most. And we need to try and get back to that. And those records are part of it for me.
And me stressing about it is not silly in this moment in time because of the team that we are. Like, if we were flipping winning the Premier League and Bournemouth did their comeback, and I'm stressing that, then I get it because I'm like we are the best team in the country. But we've seen what we are. And like Terry said, look at all the embarrassing records we've set. We know, like, literally, you said that.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Staffy just put it in the group chat. We'll do this with the viewers. So, this is in Premier League history. Premier League managers, minimum of 40 games. Only Gary Megson, who managed 50 games and only got 7 clean sheets, 14%, has a lower clean sheet percentage than Ruben Amorim. After 43 games, we have 6 clean sheets and only 14%, right? I'm a liar. There are a few more that are worse. Owen Coyles is worse at 13.5%. Ozzy Ardiles, bless him, 13%. Kevin Keane, Gary O'Neill, Joe Royal, and John Gorman, right? So Ruben Amorim is one of the worst. But if you look at the teams they all manage, right?
Yeah.
Tottenham, I think there's Reading on there. Tottenham.
I can tell you, Terry, it's Swindon, it's Oldham, Wolves, Blackburn, Spurs, Bolton, and West Brom.
The point is that record there is catnip for rivals. That record there is hope for everyone that plays us, that we don't keep clean sheets. We manage 1 every 10 games. That is something that makes you more confident in front of goal. If you become a team that only concedes 1 in every 10 games, do you know how many players will snatch at their opportunities and mess up chances? Oh, we barely get a chance to score here. You want good, strong records in your favour. It helps to win. It's one of the reasons that Deontay Wilder in his pomp was so hard to beat, because everyone knew you could outbox him for 11 and a half rounds. 1 catch on your jaw, and you were and that was in their head the whole time. These types of records have got to stop, and we need more of the good ones.
I'm just impressed you found that stat. That's
leave
it to Staffy to find a record that destroys everyone.
It was on Sky Sports, so they
put it out there today. But it's true. It's honestly, if we're gonna we're gonna be reductionist for a moment, just for a moment, and go like attacking wise, I'm not going with Fuchs, we're perfect. That's stupid. But we're the second highest goal scorers in the league. We are probably pound for pound the worst defensively in the league. That I find defensive issues are generally more about structure than the attack. I really, really do. Let's go back to some of these super chats here. This one says, I'm not Amorim in or out. I'm pissed. My point is, what's harder to fix, defense or attack? Attack is harder to fix. I feel like fresh faces in defense and midfield is a must. John, do you know what is interesting? One thing I don't buy into is this: don't buy the manager any more players. I just want Man United squad to become better. So for me, there's an opportunity in January to buy better midfielders, buy better defenders. Go and do it. You know, and the most annoying bit is about these last few games as well when we've needed it. The Lit's been so good individually. Could have just done with him today. Maybe we win this game. But you are right there, John. Never hands, but on-field errors happen. Just like wrong corners leading to goals. Digs at Ollie again. Okay, you do know we got third and second, scoring more. When I spoke, what did I mention Ollie for? I did mention him for something. Well, no, it's true. Under Ollie, we didn't press very well. I'm just giving an example of when we pressed under Ollie, and we used to, one player would go, Bruno sometimes it was the AWB, but his mates wouldn't go with him. And then there was a hole that could be exploited. And we did that tonight. because we pressed them on after a ball. 3 or 4 players did. Ahmad was too far out wide, and the fullback was too far back, and it left a massive hole in there. And it's not a dig at Ollie, but it just happened. Semenyo grabs him because Delo undercut his whole body. Dirty foul that could have ended very badly for Semenyo if he lands worse, dangerous, and reckless. I don't know why he did it. But if someone does a 2-footed tackle on a player tomorrow and breaks both their legs in half, and a teammate grabs him by the throat or punches him, he still gets a red card as well. Like,
exactly, that's it.
It doesn't matter why he did it. I'm yet to be convinced by Euro. 18 months in, #waste of money.
I'm convinced by Euro. I've seen enough of him to know that he's a good quality.
Was he at fault for any of the goals tonight? I didn't think it was him.
No. But there was an opportunity that they had where you could say Yoro was ball watching a couple of times actually.
What doesn't help is the manager and his defensive substitutions. He likes to play roulette with his defense. That is the truth, innit? Like, and that's not helping the situation. You feel like that Lisandro Martinez was in the diary already from last week to be made, that substitution, you know? That's not helping the defense. It's not. But he's a young manager, and I've been hard on him. But I feel like after what I've seen today, I know I've said it multiple times, he's learning on the job and heading in the right direction. But he needs to get a sturdy defense going, doesn't he? He needs to get something that he plays week in, week out, and doesn't change every bloody half time, you know?
This is a Terry. The game made you feel sick because you know it isn't getting fixed. Ruben's morals have changed. Morals have changed like previous managers, and the owners are crap. You know what? MMA takedown. That's probably part of it as well. You know, I'm filming a show tomorrow. I'm very fortunate with Jolene Lescott and Olivia, which is nice. And the show that's being filmed after, so I'm not working directly with him, but it'll be in the same vicinity. Andy Cole's going to be there. Andrew Cole's going to be there. They haven't done it as Andy Cole. So I'm very, whose agent is also got the surname Scholes. And I'm very intrigued to know whether she's related to Paul. So I might say hello. But for me, it's like, I'm doing that tomorrow, but we spoke about the show and what we're talking about tomorrow. And a big part of that is, how as a United fan, I feel like I'm a little bit in purgatory. I do feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And that's a horrible feeling as well. Like, and maybe nights like tonight, you go, oh, if we could just start playing more regularly like this and fix that. And sometimes it's that little bit of hope that can make you feel a bit painful. You could be right, my friend. This is what's mean about the product of the Premier League. We're debating pens that shouldn't even be considered as pens on both sides. Just let play on, and let's say as neutrals, good game, and not argue that. I mean, look, I know for a fact that in every other league in the world, fans and managers and players debate penalties. Like this, there's no disrespect. I'm going to defend English football here. We're not the only nation that does that, my friend. We need to praise Mainoo's cameo today. He was class. I agree. It was brilliant. Josh here says, part of elite sport is to minimize mistakes. Our predicted mistakes are part of the opposing team's game plan. We need to minimize the weaknesses, just like the panel has articulated Ineos leadership. It is true, because I didn't think it'd be a 4-4 or anything like that. But when we were 3-2 down, there was this part of me going, I'm gutted, but I was like, it's happened before. The way we concede very quickly, it's happened against this season. Who we done it against? We've done it against Forest, Spurs, Brighton, and we did it against someone else recently. Yeah. And today we've done it at least 4. I mean, that's 4.
Did Man City score 2 quick-fire goals against?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and check now that I've said it, but I think Man City did. I think City scored a couple of. It's happened in at least 4 or 5 games this season. Yeah. I swear, I don't even like bringing this game back up. I swear, Grimsby scored 2 goals quite close together.
Yeah, yes, they did actually. They did. It was like within like 10 minutes or something like that. They scored 2 goals.
Yeah, we always seemed. Yeah, when City scored, let's have a little look. Yeah, City scored on the 53rd and then the 68th minute. So that's a little bit of a gap. But
I mean, the point is, we usually crumble, don't we?
Literally, if you score a goal within 10 minutes, you can get another one. That is too poor for me.
Yeah,
you need to extend that.
But for us to turn it around, KJ, for us to turn it around today, was impressive, man. We got to give it to them. The players, the manager, whoever you want to give it to.
This is the frustrating thing, my friend. It's like, why do we have to go 2 goals down to realize, we can play football and score multiple?
It's so true. Yeah.
So frustrating.
Yeah, like Grimsby scored 2 goals in 8 minutes. Brentford scored 2 goals in just over 10 minutes against us. It's, you know, some games it was a lot.
We capitulate, don't we?
Yeah, a lot closer. The Nottingham Forest game was the quickest. That was only, those goals were only 2 minutes apart. The Spurs game, the goals, let's have a little look here. How far apart were the Spurs goals? They're a little bit further, I think, but not too much more. They were 6 minutes. The Spurs goals were 6 minutes apart from each other. And tonight in the second half, those goals were, let's have a little look.
That was quick. I mean, the second half goals were a bit different, right?
Yeah. Well, if you actually add it all together, we conceded in the 40th minute, the 46th minute, and the 52nd minute. If you actually look into the minutes in the game, in 12 minutes, we conceded 3 goals, and those are the things that are so that tells me 2 things. That tells me defensive structure isn't good enough. That's why we leak chances, easy to play through. But it also shows me a lack of bottling mentality in the squad. When we go for a bit of adversity, normally the legs knock together, and that's why tonight bothered me a lot, because we went 2-1 up, and it's like, right, now come out in the second half. Great intensity, like we did the first half.
Yeah.
Get the third goal, because I think if we come out with better intensity and more forthright, get our third goal, make it 3-1, we win the game.
It's done.
We kill it, and we're just not able to do that.
I think they had the intentions to do so, mate, but they scored a quick fire goal, and that was it, right? It was like a body shot for us, you know. And
well, but this is right here from AMT. You let 14 shots at home off on and off target. But this is just it. We did. Do you know the scariest part of that stat though? Just so that people, like, you can bring this really to life for people. I'm gonna go and look at it again now. But in the opening, I thought I made a note of this and I didn't. What's sickening about that is in the opening 30 minutes of the game, we didn't concede a shot. We didn't concede a shot on goal.
Well,
so we had 30
pressure,
minutes,
the way we were getting
we
the
had
ball
12
back
shots to their 0. We had 12 shots to their 0. We scored a goal, should have been 2 or 3-0 up. And then they had that one opportunity from nothing where Lemaine makes a great save.
The header.
And then between that point until the end of the first half, it was 5 shots to us, 6 to them. Then they scored their this is what's crazy. Then they scored their 2 goals in quick succession. And then it went back to 8 shots for us and none for them. We scored our 2 goals, right? 8 shots, none to them, 2 goals. And then from after we scored our 2 goals, between then and the end of the game, they had 5 shots.
And we had an incredible match. It was an incredible match.
That shows a mentality thing, though. As soon as it's how can you dominate a team for 60 minutes of the match where they don't have a shot on goal, but outside of that, they have 14. Like,
I hear you.
It's
but
mad.
More often than not, Terry, we've scored 8 goals in 2 games, right? More often than not, if we're going to score 4 goals, we're going to win games, mate.
I mean, well, yes. If we could score 4 goals every game between now and the rest of the season, I'd put a little bet that we'd make it into a Champions League spot.
That's what I'm saying. So, positivity, mate.
Yeah. There we go. Listen, I want to thank everyone who's tuned into the show this evening. Sorry?
Joshua Jack has one.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, another one's come through. Oh, it hasn't. I didn't come through on the other system. This says, I do find it interesting that we act different when we have a striker compared when we don't have a striker. Wasn't a lot of crosses when Šeško was on the pitch.
Weird. So weird. I don't understand what this is, to be honest.
Frustrating.
Cunha could have crossed it. You know that time when Cunha could have crossed it with Šeško at the back post, and he has a shot, and it's like, mate, please, this is when we need these crosses. I don't understand it.
The thing that pissed me off was that cross. I forgot who put it in. It might have been Mount or Mbeumo. Put a cross into Cunha, where if Cunha is a striker, he knows where to be and he heads that in. Easy goal. He was tapping. But when Šeško comes on,
there was no crosses.
There were so many like that, and we didn't put any. And even at the end, when we had a little bit of time added on, we're putting the ball into the box. All the crosses so poor.
Yeah,
and it's
our first goal was a good cross from Dallo.
When it comes to like Šeško, he had 2, and this is where people will do. People have put a compilation together of a layoff that didn't work, or there was a couple of times where he tried to dribble, got the ball caught under his feet, and he got tackled.
Out,
right, but there was 2 or 3 other times where everything he did worked. I mean, he won't get the assist because it took a deflection, but he put in a really good cross that gets intercepted, but was hard to clear, and therefore Cunha goes on to score. But everyone will forget about all the good things he did in the build-up. And if you actually watch Haaland play, Haaland will have times where he picks the ball up and tries to beat someone and gets tackled. I saw him get tackled 3 or 4 times yesterday and have the ball dispossessed. It happens. But it's like, this is where we need to encourage him. I want him to just keep doing what he did today, but to grow his confidence in doing it and not stop. Because that's the one thing that went wrong for Rasmus. And this is where criticism is good, but you need to encourage people as well, is the element of, I'll be saying to him to listen, do more of that. Actually, though, when you are running at someone, don't be because there was a few times where I thought it was timid. It's like, knock it past him and go. Even if he beats you to the ball, you're keeping his mind going. And Ahmad did it tonight. There was 2 or 3 times Ahmad tried taking someone on, didn't beat him. But this is when I don't ever have a go at Ahmad. He kept on driving and driving and driving. And if you do that, things happen in games. But no, it's crazy that we don't put crosses into the box. It's absolutely mental.
What I will say, if we keep playing,
thank you to everyone who's tuned into the show. We're back tomorrow with more content for you. In the morning, we're going to have, in the afternoon, there'll be straight facts around about 3:30. Are there football games tomorrow? Is there Carabao Cup on? Cardiff-Chelsea. Cardiff-Chelsea will be live after Cardiff-Chelsea tomorrow. What's on Wednesday? The games? They're shit, isn't they? Oh, they're shit, isn't they? But there we go. The Carabao Cup's been a really weird cup competition this year. There's not been a single big clash. Like, not one big team's played each other yet. And they're nearly all out.
Quarterfinals is coming. Well, no, it is quarterfinals. The semi-finals.
Semi-finals should be good. Should be good. There we go. All right, listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. This is going to redirect you to Is it going to MHF? Or is it Sam's channel? I don't ever know. Yes, MHF. So get yourselves across there, people, and we'll see you guys all again soon. Peace.